Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel. Shocking from Chelsea. 6 things we learned from Wolves 1, Chelsea 0. And I know I've brought the hype this week about Frank Lampard. I tried to get everybody excited again because it's been so long since we've been excited to watch Chelsea, since we've been excited about anything going on at the club other than us spending hundreds of millions on players who just don't seem to cut it when they get put out there on the field. Not just the new signings, but overall, Chelsea don't look like a football team. We don't look like a football club, anything close to the football club that we have been known as over the years. We've got the shimmering silver lining potential of a quarter-final against Real Madrid on Wednesday, but instead of being excited, I'm scared. I'm actually scared for how many it's going to be, because this Chelsea team have got about as much cohesion as an empty tube of superglue filled with water. It's not going to stick anything together. It's useless. And today, I genuinely think, and I don't think I'm exaggerating here, tell me if you think I'm wrong, I think that performance today against Wolves is up there as probably the worst so far this season. And I must say, all of the hype that I thought Frank Lampard would bring, I don't know if it was Frank maybe not getting into them a little bit. We saw it in the press conference. He wanted to tell the players what it is to be Chelsea. Does Chelsea even know what Chelsea is anymore? Does Frank Lampard know what Chelsea is anymore? Because I didn't see anybody out there today, and apart from one player, we'll get into that in a minute when we go through the boxes, I didn't see anybody today giving 100%. 100% is the maximum. When we exaggerate, when we say we want to see 110%, we want to see 105%, we want to see 120%, we say that as an exaggeration. Even 100% effort would have been nice. Chelsea today, and I said this during my live stream, Chelsea have been so bad at finishing this season, and that's been what we've talked about the most in terms of why it was so awful. We couldn't finish. Today we couldn't even get into a position to be embarrassed with how embarrassing our finishing is. That is how bad Chelsea were today. We couldn't even get to the point where we become the laughingstock because we couldn't even get into shooting opportunities. Jose Sarr, the Wolverhampton Wanderers goalkeeper, may as well have stayed at home today and eaten a lovely chicken tikka wrap on the streets of Wolverhampton and not showed up for his team. He wasn't needed. He wasn't necessary. Apart from when João Felix has a shot that's on target in the first half, but bloody hell, was that bad? They can't pass the ball to one another. Players can't find players. Even the brilliant, mercurial Enzo Fernandez couldn't find a Chelsea player properly today. The biggest thing for me in that first half in particular was that there was no one available for passes. And even within the 3rd minute of the game, Conor Gallagher's over the far left-hand side running about. And we've got the ball on the right-hand side, and there's nobody to pass to on the right-hand side of the pitch, which only then leaves the opportunity of a switched ball, which today we didn't do it once. I didn't see a single switcheroo to the other side to get the other team chasing us. Chelsea dominated possession again. Shock flipping horror. We dominate possession again, but what are we talking about? What are we actually talking about here with Chelsea? I don't want to hear the word domination in any way to do with Chelsea Football Club anymore. We dominate shots normally, can't score them. We dominate possession normally, don't do anything with it. It's shocking. And unfortunately, it's killed my entire mood of excitement about Frank Lampard coming. When Potter was sacked, Bruno took over. He didn't look like he wanted to be there from minute number 1. Then Frank's come in and we're like, alright, we got something to be happy about. We've had nothing to shout about all season long, apart from like this little creeping up run we've done in the Champions League to get to Real Madrid. I can't even say it without almost pooping my pants. But the fact of the matter is, there was no manager bounce today, and Frank Lampard got it wrong. And I'm going to talk about him later on in the video. But it was the way that Chelsea, if you look at the stats, we got corners, but every single corner was either straight to Sarr, straight to the first man, or one in the air by the Wolves defenders. I don't know what was going on with Reece James's delivery today. That was out of character. He's never normally that bad whatsoever. But we were so poor that I could have given the first box to anybody, but I've got to give it to Kai Havertz, who every time I criticise this guy, I feel like saying, was that the worst Kai we've seen so far? Today was the worst one. Today was the worst. And it was not just because normally we're used to seeing him miss chances. I've got used to that now. Did he get on the ball? Did he... And this is the thing, again, I said in my live stream. Kai Havertz makes these runs, which I think deceive us that he's working hard. Because he starts the run once the player in the opposition has got control of the ball and has already decided where the next pass is going to be. Then Kai makes the run and we see him like jogging around the back of that player at the end of it because at least he gave it the effort to get hold of it. I saw that so many times today. And even then, when the ball is being played into the box, Sterling had it and it's like he stood still. It's like that woman in Frozen's just stared him out and he's just like, or like the basilisk has looked at him from the Chamber of Secrets and then he's like, I don't know what more we can do. That Fofana is probably thinking, why didn't I go and sign for AIK in Sweden? Why didn't I go and sign for the team top of the Israeli league? Why did I sign for Chelsea? Because they don't have a striker. They're never going to play me. The guy that they've got running around, he's got donkeys as pets, but he's playing like one. I don't understand. I'm losing my mind seeing Kai Havertz play through the middle. Frank Lampard, right? He came to Chelsea versus Liverpool. He said that it was planned 2 weeks in advance. It's the first time he's been back to the bridge since he was fired. So I guess that Frank's not been watching Chelsea. Because if Frank's been watching Chelsea, he don't play Kai Havertz through the middle as a striker. He doesn't. Let alone the 4-3-3 that we saw. We're going to go into that as we explain more. Box number 2 is a red for Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling, I'm going to say it, he looked like a man who don't want to be at Chelsea today. And if that's the case, get out. Get out. He wasn't trying. He was jogging, is me being polite, but it wasn't that. No work rate to get back. Chelsea's fluidity today and Chelsea's meaningful possession would have been meaningful if the front three would have integrated themselves, because Wolves overran us in the middle. The way that Lopetegui set up today for Wolves, credit to him. I looked at it before the game and I'm like, it's a 4-4-1-1. Chelsea are going to dominate. Wolves might nick a goal. It's kind of what happened, but also not really, because Wolves were better than us in every single position across the field. And Raheem Sterling, for me, epitomised everything about what was wrong with Chelsea, which was the moment there's a 50-50 chance that we could play the right thing or do the right thing, we don't. Every single time. Every single time. He was slow. He's obviously not been playing that much football recently, and I think Frank got him in the team today because we might need experience against Real Madrid. Noni Madueke doesn't even make the squad. Someone save us, please, because this is just not it, is it? Raheem Sterling isn't it in a Chelsea shirt, and he should never have left Man City. It's as simple as that. His career is only going to go down playing in a Chelsea team like this. A red for Matheus Nunes, who I think I've probably been pretty kind to in recent games, and I shouldn't have been. He's been poor now for 2 or 3 in a row. Today, he was overran for Chelsea in the middle, and when you've got someone like Conor Gallagher, who I will talk about in a moment, even if, the cat's going nuts behind me, sorry about that, even if Gallagher is struggling, at least he's running about. Kovacic today wasn't running about. He wasn't keeping the ball. He wasn't getting Chelsea forward. Enzo is being wasted as a number 6. So Kova's job as a number 8 is to get creative, get forward. Nope. Absolutely none of it whatsoever. Mason Mount wasn't in the squad. It's because he was injured. I do believe that. People have liked to scapegoat this as, oh, he's not being picked or he's not being played. It's just like another reason to be ultra negative. I think if they say Mount's injured, he's injured. I do believe that. He's had an abdominal problem now for a while. But Kovacic, you know, I think I've said that maybe Chelsea need to try and keep him, lock him down to a new contract because we need some experience in this team. But where are you going to play? Because we're going to sign a number 6. We're going to have someone alongside Enzo. Because Enzo, even though he was poor today, he's still a far better footballer, I think, than Matheus Nunes for Chelsea's future. And I needed to say it. Kovacic wasn't up to it, and it was poor from him. Box number 4 is a green. Yes, I've given a green to Wesley Fofana because I didn't want this box of this video full of red boxes and 6 things we learnt. I can't put Fofana in that same bracket. I think he's injured, by the way, which is what makes this even worse. This is such an awful day for Chelsea. It's so bad, and I'm at loose end here with just how poor we are. Fofana was brilliant, and it would have been more if it wasn't for him. There's a simply world-class tackle in that first half where this is the only positive of the game. He's kind of over, and he's leant over on his right foot, and he somehow manages to scrape it away from what would have been a Stonewall goal, probably, that Wolves would have scored. He scrapes it out with his left foot, and then there's a block a few minutes later to deny Mario Lemina from scoring from range for Wolves. It's a fabulous block again. And he just once more looks composed in a Chelsea team, lacking composure, lacking cohesion. He was trying to make the right passes. He was trying to drive out from the back with the ball. And for me to sit here and say that is the only positive, I have to move on, because I feel like the more I talk about anything positive, the more we move from the natural disservice that needs to be expressed with how bad that was. Conor Gallagher is a red. Conor Gallagher started the game, I think, well. He was getting into little pockets of space, but in order for pockets of space to be a positive, you need someone to be able to find you in that pocket of space. And quite frankly, we can say all we want about how many changes Graham Potter made game by game by game, but giving Conor Gallagher 90 minutes today for Chelsea, Enzo Fernandez don't know how to play with Conor Gallagher yet. So Enzo didn't have a partner. Kovacic is having an off day, so Chelsea's midfield becomes totally void there. Wolves overrun us. And I haven't even managed to speak about the Wolves goal yet, because even without the moment of sheer brilliance for the Wolves goal, it's one of the best goals you'll see in the Premier League this season. It really is a stunning strike. Kepa can't do anything about it, in my opinion, so I won't criticise him for it today. Wolves score an incredible goal, but even if this game finished 0-0, Chelsea were awful. Simply abysmal. And that goal is good enough to win any football match. It just puts the icing on the Wolves cake, and we've made our cake. We've gone off eggs today. It stunk from Frank Lampard. Box number 6. It was awful. 4-3-3. Unless, Frank, you're going to try and play a masterclass with 4 at the back against Real Madrid, then I get why you've started with a 4-3-3. I do. I get why you've started with a 4-3-3 today. If that's the way you see this Chelsea team going forward, credit to you for changing it. Maybe I'd say sticking with a 3 at the back could have been better for this game. But if you want to play a 4 at the back against Real Madrid, fine. But the one thing I will not let Frank Lampard get away with here in terms of criticism is when you watch that first half, you're 1-0 down, you see how disjointed the Chelsea team is. Players can't find one another. We're not getting into any good positions. We've had one shot on target from João Felix, and that was out of sheer frustration that he wasn't being found in any other areas across the pitch. You change it. You bring Kai Havertz off at halftime. You make 3 changes at halftime, change the shape of this team to give us a chance. I said throughout my live stream, go and watch it if you want, if you really want to suffer again. I said from the minute Chelsea didn't make a sub before the 50th minute, we've lost. We've absolutely lost. If we don't change the shape, you don't beat this Wolves team. They're so well organised. Premier League teams now can beat Chelsea just by being organised. You don't need that much quality. You don't need to play attacking beautiful football. You just need to be organised. Chelsea was so disorganised today, and at first, I can accept it for the first half. I can't accept it when I see the same for the second, and I see it all the way until the 90th minute. Yeah, you brought on Chilwell, Aubameyang, Mudryk to try and bring some more attacking impetus to the team. You didn't change the shape. They were still useless. Pulisic comes on. Chelsea maybe have had a penalty, but Pulisic, why are you going down there? There's no contact, but of course, but that's what Pulisic does. He goes down all the time. He's always out-muscled, out-pushed off the ball. He didn't get involved in the game and gave it away whenever he did get on it. Chelsea today, all in all, were an absolute flipping effing shambles. And I'm at a loose end. I've got no positivity left in me. I've used it all up this week. I'm actually distraught after that. I know it's the league and we're looking at the Champions League. That's what matters now. I can't get excited for that. They need a rocket up their arse. Every single one of them needs a flipping rocket up their arse. And maybe then we can lose by 1 to Real Madrid and give ourselves a chance in the second leg, just with an atmosphere at Stamford, please. Is that too much to ask? It is after what I just saw. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I wish I could say something else, but I can't. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the 6 things we learned, if it's possible. Subscribe to GBFC if you are new. I can't wait to turn my camera off today. I've just streamed for 4 hours and watched that pure and utter trash. The best part was my flipping spicy beef pretzels. I'm out.